Shabbat Shalom from Temple Concord. This week our Torah portion is called Shalach Lecha. It comes in the book of Numbers. And we read of spies being sent out into the land. Now they're not really called spies, they're called anashim, men. And the idea is that there was 12 leaders of our people who were sent out to scout the land. The 12 came back and the result was a 2-10 vote. 2 said, it's a great place, we should go. Those 2 were Caleb and Joshua. And 10 came back saying, the land is filled with giants and with vicious beasts, and we'll never be able to succeed there. Interestingly enough, our tradition says we went with the 2. And obviously we all know this because we still went to the Promised Land, and the land of Israel is still a sacred space for us. So why is it that we went with the 2 instead of the 10? Why did we let the minority rule and not the majority? Well, the answer is complicated, but it involves a number of important issues. First, we recognize that votes don't always need to be counted. Sometimes they need to be weighed. And the weight of the 2 in favor was stronger, was more than the weight of the 10 opposed. Abraham Lincoln had a similar experience in his cabinet where once they took a vote and the vote was something like 12-1. And the 1 was Lincoln. And Lincoln said, well, looks like the 1 has won. And another cabinet secretary said, wait a second, Mr. President, it was 12-1 or 11-1. And Lincoln smiled and said, yes, but in this cabinet, votes are weighed, not counted. A second bigger issue is this notion of fear. 10 came back afraid. They saw something new. They didn't know what to expect. They didn't know what they were going to see. They didn't know what they were going to encounter. And they were afraid. The 2 said, we know this is a new change. We know we're coming into something that's different, but we're willing to take the risk. We have faith. We trust ourselves. We trust God. We trust each other. And that lesson, the notion of having faith, of having trust, and of not letting fear get the upper hand, that's the lesson that becomes central to who we are as Jews. We Jews have long understood Franklin Roosevelt's wisdom that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. We Jews understand that together there's nothing we can't accomplish. That if we unite together and we have faith in ourselves and in each other and in our God, the whole world can be turned into a place of shalom, of peace. And so, as you join with me this Shabbat and we read the Torah portion, I hope you'll see that sense of fear being overcome and the sense of faith prevailing, and a sense of faith not just in the Almighty, but a faith in ourselves and in each other. Because that central belief that I can do it, that together we can do it, that faith undergirds so much of who we are as Jews, and it certainly undergirds who we are as members of this temple and this community. I hope you'll join us. We have Shabbat services at 6 p.m. Friday evening. Saturday morning we'll have Torah study at 10, followed by services at 11. And in the coming week we have a couple of wonderful programs. Ramon Simchi Gross will be performing Tuesday evening at 7 o'clock. He is a brilliant pianist, and we're thrilled to have him back. He is a product of our own temple. And next Sunday, the 24th, we'll gather at Woodlawn Cemetery to take a tour to learn our own temple's history. Bill Berenstein and Mike Moss will be leading the tour. When I first arrived in Syracuse, I had the 2 of them give me a tour, and it was fabulous, well worth the time. And I learned a great deal about us and our community, and I encourage you to join us. And then at noon on Sunday, after the tour, we'll be having an information meeting on our mission to Cuba. As you've heard, Temple Concord will be having a caring community mission to Cuba, to the Jewish community there, where we'll reach out and connect with the Jews who live in Cuba and learn about that fascinating place. If you want more information on the Cuba trip, by all means let me know, or contact my assistant JJ at the Temple office. For now, though, I wish you a Shabbat filled with blessing and peace and a complete absence of fear. Shabbat Shalom. Look forward to seeing you at the Temple.